Go.
Okay, I'm trying to. Is there a cone in front of me?
Go, just go.
All right.
This Ridley Report is brought to you by libertarian.com.
How you doing? I just wanted to let you know I was here. I was going to take some pictures of the entrance. I didn't want you to be in question as to what I was doing.
That's fine. You authorize as long as you don't.
I beg your pardon?
As long as you don't take the 1, 2, and 3 of the pipeline.
Okay, I'm not even coming to base, so. All right, thanks. Anyway, this is where President Obama, I think, will be arriving for his visit to Colorado Springs. It's Peterson Air Force Base. A sort of disturbing mix of civilian airport and military base. Now, the president could wind up more on the civilian airport side, you know, or he might come out here. Who knows? There's probably 3 or 4 ways he could leave, and no one is really making clear when he's going to be here, where he's going to go exactly, where he's going to land. But to me, it's sort of Peterson Air Force Base and / Colorado Springs Municipal Airport. Make me think human shield by putting civilians and military in such close proximity for a long-term basis. So I guess the question is, does he come here more to the civilian area, or does he stay out there with the boys in blue? So I'm seeing for now just really the very first police presence around the area of the air bases, airports, whatever you want to call them. Let's hope they weren't making routine traffic stops when they're supposedly needed for urgent emergencies. Oh, I guess I should clarify that by that I mean I don't want to see victimless crime traffic stops. Accidentally pulled up to the Air Force Base again, have to make a U-turn or... Anyway, so with no activity at the airport, I went to upload my existing video, and while I was gone, he arrived, although probably not at that airport, because there sure wasn't much, I don't know, there wasn't much activity at Colorado Springs Airport or Peterson, but anyway, you probably heard one of those government officials telling me that, you know, they would have minimal disruption with Obama's visit in terms of roadblocks and stuff. Well, it turns out they cleared I-25, the interstate. I don't know how much of it, but I'm going parallel to I-25 now to kind of see what's going on. Restricted area, it says. I'm now, I guess, well into the area that was, you know, evacuated as of a couple days ago, but now, well, it still looks kind of evacuated. But folks have been allowed back in. It's the Garden of the Gods region. It's really interesting to read the articles when you're trying to find out just one piece of information, and that is where, or maybe when, just the articles, even the ones that are announcing where he has been over the last hour or so, will not say exactly where he's been. Like there's a shot of him at an airport of some kind, or a shot of him arriving in Colorado Springs, but it doesn't say where in Colorado Springs. He's like freaking Saddam Hussein. I should have waited until now to show you the shot of the Garden of the Gods. Now again, a little bit of police presence. Glen Eyrie, popular tourist spot, still walled off, sort of, looks like, although I guess on a voluntary basis. Don't worry, I'm not looking through the viewfinder. Okay, so there's another roadblock of one type or another here. How should I do this? Actually, it doesn't. It might not be completely blocked up. I'm going to try and make my way towards I-25 and see if there's still any lingering issues there. Although, you know, all this activity I'm seeing is starting to make me wonder if this might not be a bad place to get a shot of the president's motorcade. I don't know. Okay, so a cop just stopped traffic here near me, or not stop. He just looks like he's setting up some kind of a barricade or about to.
Go!
Okay, I'm trying to. Is there a cone in front of me?
Go, just go.
All right. So he wants me out of the way. I don't really care exactly which part of Obama's visit I get to film, so I don't really mind going forward. I don't think I'm going to have much choice anyway. So that guy is pulling over someone. He sirened this dude, and he's pulling him over. I don't know what he's trying to do to him. So yeah, I'm definitely on the motorcade route now, or at least I suspect I'm on the motorcade route. And look, they've already blocked all this traffic over here. Just off Garden of the Gods. That's a road that runs perpendicular to Garden of the Gods. I don't know what it's called. So Centennial they blocked off. Obviously, that's not a disruption at all. So what was this I heard about CSPD not having the resources to participate in a freaking presidential motorcade? And the part about minimal disruptions, what happened with that? Now I will admit, okay, if you look here at the traffic, it's already moving again, and it looks like the backlog is only about 2-3 blocks long. And it probably, CSPD got dragged into having to provide more and more stuff than they wanted to for the motorcade. I mean, I take them at their word when they indicate that they were, you know, had strained resources. Try and determine. Oh, you don't have to go very far to get interrupted, stopped, moved around. But anyway, I guess they're not really stopping me, but my goal right now is to determine what exactly is the status of I-25. Is it, has it been slowed down much right now by this motorcade, or? Okay, so you may not be able to see it real well right now, but I can see I-25, and it is moving fine at the moment. This is probably about an hour and a half after the president arrived, and we're now, you know, 2 miles away from the spot where the motorcade passed me. So, good traffic flow, an hour and a half after the motorcade, but I don't know if they actually went through that spot or not. So here's another point where something's going on. Some old bomb action up in this area. This would be just north of Garden of the Gods Road in I-25. And here are more barricades, maybe telling me I can't get in there, I don't know. It wasn't my goal to be part of a gridlock, but this is how it looks when Obama's in town. I think it was probably something I should show you. I do get the impression, though, that the authorities are doing their best to make sure that the disruption is not unlimited. My assumption would have been that the great leader would have, I just assumed he'd come by helicopter. I didn't even think I'd have shots at getting video of the motorcade. So they're stopping and questioning people. Again, it's CSPD. How are you? I'd like to go that way or wherever the action is. I'm a media guy.
Okay. Right now, everything's closed that way unless they live up there. So,
okay.
Probably be best if you want to try to work your way straight.
All right. Thanks much.
All right.
Appreciate
Thanks.
Now, it's possible that Obama didn't actually go to that spot. Maybe that's just still closed off. I should have asked. 9th, by the way, 2012. You know, in fairness to the Prez, who, by the way, seems to have gotten to his 4th year without much of a nickname. Anyway, in fairness to him, I recognize that there's a certain benefit, or at least theoretical, a perceived benefit that comes from showing up at a disaster scene. So it does draw more attention to the disaster, maybe draws more aid. But that particular, you know, maybe morally neutral act doesn't really make up for the rest of the problems that Washington creates. Now what you're seeing right now is about, I would say about 3.5, I'd say about 4 miles north of Obama's motorcade that we saw earlier on Garden God's Road. All right, so scenic overlook closed, no parking next 6 miles. And so now I'm on I-25 northbound near the Air Force Academy. Now, is this clog up, this slight clog up, a result of Obama, or is it just a result of the fire? I don't know yet. I'm just trying to ride it out and see what I find out at the other end of it. Rain, glorious rain. But you know, this reminds me in some ways of those Soviet, you know, regions where they would tell you, nope, no stopping, you know, for the next 5 miles. We're not going to tell you why. And of course, it would be because there's some kind of radioactive contamination or something. Back in the Soviet days, pre-Chernobyl. It's not looking good ahead. You can freeze frame that if you want to know the numbers. They were not looking too bad, actually. How long it takes to get to each place. I'm east of the Air Force Academy, and you can see traffic is slowed pretty badly, southbound and northbound. And at the time right now is 1:55, because it was about 1:45 when I reached this slowdown area. And this was about 1 hour and 45 minutes after Obama arrived in Colorado Springs, but I don't know which part of Colorado Springs. One theory I had is he may have landed over there at the Air Force in some sort of fashion. But either way, there's plenty of destruction, or at least plenty of fire in the Air Force vicinity for him to visit, so he either arrives here or he probably visits here. There's definitely slow traffic now, though, going southbound on I-25. Well, by going north, because it's the only direction I can go, and there is action north of here. I don't know how many military base entrances I'm going to have to turn around in front of today before it's over. At least they have a turnaround spot. Sure is nice to get out of the car. I-25 moving fine here north of the Air Force Academy, and we're now at the 2 hour and 10 minute mark after Obama arrived, but I don't know if he came this far north. You know, if he just tell the public where he's going to be, people like me wouldn't have to do all this poking around. Selected media obviously were informed. Government influenced media. That means folks like me are never going to get the memo. Alright, wasn't my idea to drive this slow. The guy in front of me is doing it. But it enabled me to get this picture. Okay, I'll admit I am sort of glancing at the viewfinder here and there, but I've got a very slow truck in front of me. This will be useful for archiving purposes. It's pretty ugly, depending on how you look at it. You know, in theory I had is that Obama might try to go to one of the shelters. He probably did, actually. My theory was that he might actually be going to the Cheyenne Mountain shelter, which is the big one that I was at yesterday, because there's probably about the right number of people there for something like that. And he did seem to be, the direction he was driving indicated to me he could be driving away from the fire zone at that point and going to the Cheyenne Mountain. But I didn't have enough of a hunch to actually follow up on it, so we'll see when I get home where he actually went. Or maybe they'll hold that information for a day or two. Here's that closed overlook. Well, now it's slow again going northbound. Now, where I'm going, it's fine. It's perfectly fine southbound. I don't know.
This Ridley Report is brought to you by Libertania.com. Libertania, the Liberation of Conformia, is a children's book that makes freedom fun. Although, I guess it's already fun. Buy it on Amazon, get it in print, or use it on Kindle. Teaching without preaching, the ideals of freedom to the most important people in your life. Libertania.com.